Everyone. Happy Tuesday. Another Tuesday we spend together. We're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. I have my Dr. Pepper ready to go tonight. I hope everybody had a fantastic New Year's. I feel like the whole holiday season, I feel just like went by so freaking quick. All of a sudden you blink your eye and it's 2022. I'm like, where the heck did this come from? It's like, man, I'm telling you. But I hope everybody had a fantastic New Year's. Mine was super low key. It was actually kind of nice. Cobra Kai came out on Netflix on New Year's Eve, and I know my Dr. Pepper on New Year's Eve, and man, I we literally binged watched the entire season in one night, and that was like our New Year's Eve bringing in the new year. So it was actually kind of nice. Had a nice glass of wine, sat back, relaxed, and next thing I know, it was like 2, I think, or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I guess we should go to bed soon. But once you started, you had to, you kind of can't kind of keep on going with some of those episodes. I felt like everyone was like a cliffhanger. Okay, so let's say hi real quick. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Monique. How are you? Hi, Thomas. Hi, Brenda. Hi, AH. How are you? Hi, Bud Soda. How are you? Are you working tonight? You said New Year's Eve was terrible for you, but New Year's Day was awesome. Okay, good. Brenda, how are you? Yes, I actually completely agree with you. Whoever created Dr. Pepper is genius, and I'm like legitimately addicted to Dr. Pepper. So I think last week I tried to get everybody like on the Pepper bandwagon. So everybody go grab a Dr. Pepper tonight and join me. And hi, gig in between. Okay, so if you haven't done it already, hit the thumbs up button and let's get started. So, hi, Kimberly. So I got a couple of comments from you guys, and you guys always inspire me. So, and you guys inspire tonight's topic. So, one of you guys said that, last week it was a little slow for you, but you had to kind of get back into making your goals this week. And, it kind of like got the juices flowing up here in my brain of mine. And I'm like, you know what? Tonight's topic is going to be what happens after the holiday season, because during the holiday season we have like a month long of, and once again every market is different, but a month long of going and taking orders, and orders are coming in, and people are generous, and it is so it was so like energizing, and you're like, yes, it's the holidays. And now I call it the January blues. The January blues are here. And you're like, oh, I can't have the same strategy that I had during the holiday that I have right now, because things are changing. They're not as slow, they're not as busy as they were. And then you have to kind of rethink your strategy. And let's face it, people are, they're so generous, and they're so giving during the holiday, and then the money runs out at some point, and their generosity is over with, and it's kind of back to basics. And I think that's what we are going to start to feel. I know I started to feel it this past week. And we kind I that's why it's kind of like sparking this conversation tonight with you guys as well. And so that's kind of where where we're going to start tonight. So when I think about this, we, we during the holiday season, like I feel like I'm like cherry picking is back. I have that power again. And then like this past week, I'm like, yep, I can't be that juicy anymore. The orders aren't rolling in like they used to, and I'm probably not the only one that's feeling it, and I kind of feel like that's the way we're going. And when I think about the apps that I use, and those of you who are new, I use Doordash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub if you're new to my channel. And when I kind of think back on the apps, like even the apps are evolving and changing as well. And when I think about that, a couple months ago, Uber Eats used to be like my app. It used to be like my go to. It used to be my number one app. I knew when I turned it on, I was going to be making money, and I'll especially on like a Friday night, I always said like I'm gonna get on an Uber roll because I knew turning it on, like I was going to like I was rocking and rolling. And then I don't know what happened. I'm starting to do a lot of market research in my area right now just because when something like doesn't click, like I guess I'm a dork that way. Like I like to kind of figure it out and I like to kind of know what's going on. And I don't know, like something happened with Uber, but because something happened with Uber, I then had to readjust my strategy going into the holidays and even going into right now. And when I think about my area right now, I can't even believe a couple months ago, like this wouldn't have even come out of my mouth. Like DoorDash has really stepped up in my area and is now my number one app. Who would have ever thought that I would actually be saying that DoorDash would be like my number one app? And then, then you have Grubhub, and it's my newest app that I have. Yes, I feel like I have like a very love hate relationship going on with Grubhub because let's face it, their wait times are ugh, and but their miles are ugh. But sometimes you get those really good quality orders, and you really feel like okay, Grubhub can be like my really good second. And now like Uber Eats has like now been pushed back to third because I can't tell you even this past week I community posted it because I couldn't even believe I freaking got a $2 order. Like, who freaking gets a $2 order from Uber? Like, that wouldn't have even happened a couple months ago. And I know you guys are saying you're getting these orders as well. And that's why, like, I kind of had to like take a step back and I'm like, okay, I need to re-strategize. And I always say to know your market, but also like think, okay, this is my always know what your number one app is, number two app is, and number three or four or five or however many you use. But I'm just saying. Okay, real quick, I'm just gonna kind of go through and say hi to a couple more people that have already joined in. Hi, PJ. How are you? Thank you for coming. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Mishigu. How are you? Dark Block Stang. Hi, how are you? Sarah. Hi, how are you? Joe Gig. Hi, how are you? Trying to think. Did I miss everybody? Did I get everybody? I think I got everybody out. So I know people were starting to join as I was starting. So, hi everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm just excited that everybody is here and is joining me on my Tuesday night. But anyway, going back to like my own strategy, it really made me kind of relook at it. And I'm not saying that this is going to be my strategy going, it's going to be my strategy for now, but I feel like with gig apps, hi Josh, hi Kevin, how are you? I feel like with gig apps, like it's always constantly evolving, and we really need to readjust as it's evolving. And what works today might not work in 2 months, it might not work in 3 months. Hey, Stacy, how are you? Hi, how are you? It might not work down the road, but this is what's currently, working in my area. And believe me, I don't know what I don't know what everybody else's strategies are. I always encourage you to find your own strategies because what works for me might not work for you. And, what works for your market might not work in my market. But I just take you guys along with me, hoping that maybe something that I do or something that happens to me might help you in your endeavors you in your own market. So I really encourage you to, if you're struggling a little bit during this time, really, you know, I'm doing my own market research, which you'll actually see in the next, day or so. Actually, one of the videos that I'm going to be releasing tomorrow, you'll see some of the market research that I actually did a little bit today, but it just really helps me understand what is kind of going on and how it's either helping me or how it's not helping me. In the case which you'll see tomorrow, it totally was not helping me at all. And it really opened my eyes that I'm like, wow, I cannot believe that this is actually what is happening. And I kind of like took a step back and went, okay, I now know that this is exactly what I have to do. And this is another thing, kind of for me going into the holiday season and kind of like readjusting themselves and readjusting yourself is, it's, I was so hard on myself. And, now I can honestly say I have been a full time worker for a whole year. I can't believe that. It's been a year I've been a full time gig worker. But I can honestly say, like last year at this time, I was so hard on myself that if I didn't make my goal, I'm like, man, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Like, you have to, you know, you have to readjust yourself. You have to work harder. And, to me, like now that like I've been doing this for a little while, like I feel as though, wow, what was I thinking? There are days, and like this is the reality, and this is what I'm saying. Like, there's the good, the bad, and the real. Like, there's reality. It's okay to not make your goals. It's okay to not be hard on yourself when you have like those bad days because here's the reality of it. We're all not going to have like fantastic days. We set goals for ourselves, but let's face it, there are really, it's kind of sometimes hard because I'm a goal oriented person, but sometimes you just have to take a step back and go, it's okay. It's okay to give your permission for it to be okay. And that's what I really, but then you're going to get those days where you're going to be like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, this is my greatest achievement. I made blank amount of dollars. I can't believe this. And you feel like you're on top of the world and your adrenaline is pumping. And I guess that's the highs and lows of really doing gig work. And, Josh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at your comment that's coming up on the screen, and you just said every day will not be easy. And it won't be, hey, Doordash Revolution. No, every day will not be easy, but it's how you move forward. Like, I never take things to heart. And don't let it get you down and pump yourself back up. And tomorrow, that's another thing with gig work. Like tomorrow is a brand new day, so brush it off, get it out from under you. And you know what? Tomorrow's a new day, and it might be even a better day, and you never really even know it. But going back into kind of the after holiday thought, I just feel like, and I I said this, I think, like a couple maybe a couple months ago, and when you are working the weekends, sometimes like it's go 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 because it's the weekends. And I don't know about you guys, but I love working Sundays because they've been absolutely fantastic in my area. But sometimes it's hard to go from Sundays to Mondays because you're in Sunday mode and you're on weekend mode, and then all of a sudden it's like it's Monday. And that's actually what happened to me this past Sunday. And oh, and then going into Monday, I should say, like Sunday, I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. It's fantastic. And then yesterday, I'm like, oh, what the heck is going on? And during the day, I had to readjust my mindset that, okay, it's not Sunday. Not everything is going to come in. Not everything is going to be perfect. I'm not going to have like that perfect mile to dollar ratio. Like, I really have to dig deep and I really have to take the orders that are going to get me the money that I need to get to. And that's where like my readjustment period happened. And I think we're going through that readjustment period going from holiday into today. Hold on, I'm gonna take a drink. And don't get me wrong, by the way, DoorDash is still not my number. My I'm not a fan of DoorDash. I'm not a big fan of the company. I'm not a big fan of DoorDash. But this is this is the thing. I always say you have to go where the money is. Unfortunately, or fortunately, right now I should say, DoorDash is where it's at in my market, and I'm going where the money at. I don't always agree with them, and I don't always agree with what they do as a company, but I'm still an independent contractor for them, and that's where the money is in my market. It is literally the busiest app. I literally can turn it on almost any time, and I know I'm going to get an order. They might not be fantastic orders, but I know I'm going to be getting orders. But that's kind of what's happening in my market. I don't know what's happening in your markets either, but there's a shift going on. It's interesting though. I did receive a promo from Uber Eats like as a customer today, and it's the first promo that I've actually seen from them in probably about a month and a half to 2 months. I didn't receive any promos during the holiday season, and I got one today. Of course, it's after the holiday season. I don't know whether the thought process was, well, people are gonna order. I don't know whether people are gonna like order regardless because of the holidays. So why throw a promo at them? We'll throw it out at them in January when people aren't ordering. Don't quite know what their own strategy was on that, but I don't know whether that. I don't know what's going. I'm not like I don't even know. Like I don't know what's going on with Uber Eats, but they need to figure it out. But that's kind of what's going on. But each one of them, DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, I mean Grubhub has that guarantee on time guarantee going on with their with their own area. I don't know. I don't know. But another thing that you guys have said, um, what and asked a lot of questions regarding, what's the biggest or what do you think is last year versus this year? Is it going to be the same? What happens in January? What happens, after the holiday season, has happened? And I can honestly say that I think this is now, I mean, I started off part time and then I went full time. So this is my third year of doing food delivery. That every year is different. I feel like this business is so unpredictable, and I feel bad that I can't answer you because I don't have a crystal ball and I can't predict what's going to happen between last year and this year. Who would have predicted from 3 years ago to last year that there would be going on, and who would have been predicted from last year to this year the pandemic is still going on? And it's really interesting that like you in this business, at least in my opinion, like you really can't figure out when people are going to order, when people aren't going to order, what platforms they're ordering from at all. Like it's and I don't know whether so in my area, to me, there could be different things going on with Uber, and this is just my opinion, is it's either we're going through there's so many drivers, many oversaturation in my market that could be happening, or people just aren't ordering through Uber Eats anymore and they're jumping shipping, going to DoorDash with Grubhub. So that's kind of my that's kind of am I going in and out? I just saw Kimberly's message. Am I going in and out? Can anybody give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if I'm doing okay as far as sound quality? Okay. So so anyway, that's kind of what's going on in my market. But what I'm really, I feel bad that I can't predict what's going on. But I guess with gig apps, they're they're so unpredictable. Who can really figure who can figure it out? If anybody can figure it out, please let me know and let me get into your mind and figure it out. And you know what you guys are saying, I'm in and out. So let me try taking off the AirPods. Hold on for a sec. Might be it. Okay, can you guys hear me? Is that better? Give me a thumbs up or thumbs up if it's better, thumbs down if it's worse. Michael, I'm looking at your comment. My wife asked if you did call center work before. No, I did not. I was a retail manager for 20 plus years. That was my previous, that's my previous career. Okay, seems better. Okay, AirPods no more. So let me know if it goes in and out anymore. So anyway, that's kind of my thought process, going into gig work after the holiday season. All I gotta say, I know we work hard every single day. We go out there and give it our best as we possibly can, and that's really all we can do. We all make good decisions. I even make some bad decisions, but you guys are there for it when I make the really bad decisions. But it's really learning. To me, it's learning from learning from your past, learning from what you've learned, learning from what you learned. Is that like a double negative? But really learning from what is, what's working, what's not working. Sometimes it's really trial and error. Sometimes it's really digging deep and taking orders that you might not normally take because orders aren't coming in as quickly as they used to. And I found that out this week. So it's I get a lot of questions a lot of times. Why did you take this order? Why did you take that order? And once again, is I have a lot of highways around my area. I think that's a lot of confusion a lot of times. And some of my longer miles I take are highway driving. And what I found that works for my area is highway driving is quicker a lot of times than taking some of your shorter distances. And because you're going 65, 70, well, if you're a speed demon, 70 miles an hour, and you're getting to your areas quicker, and some of them can go really, really quickly, and then versus like a 4 to 5 mile order, and you're taking back roads, and you're only going like 25 to 40 miles an hour. And a lot of times, my own strategy is I really looked into time. Miles are important too, but time, miles, dollar amount, and that's kind of my own decision making process and my own strategy. But a lot of times, I know, I think, but Soda, you and me are like this with highway miles. I love my highway miles, and because sometimes the bigger the I will say this, and I know a lot of you guys question a lot of my longer mile orders is a lot of them are highway driving. And to me, I would rather do longer miles because they have a really decent payout. And I always say they give you good chunks of change. So when you have a high goal for yourself, or if you're goaling yourself a pretty substantial amount of money, if you take like a $20 order, you're like, whew, that one's done. I now have X amount of dollars. And if you can get a couple of those under your belt, especially like stacked orders and, stuff like that, it really helps to achieve a lot of your goals, and you can get to it quicker. And then in turn, it actually gets you more money in the long run. So that's kind of, I try to answer a lot of your questions that I see throughout the entire week, but those are kind of what I have really noticed in my market lately and going back and forth. But a lot of times I get a lot of questions, why did I take a 15-mile order or a 13-mile order?
But those are, whenever you see usually high miles, that is usually like the main reason why. And the payouts are, I don't know, they're fantastic. You do have to watch out sometimes with your item count versus your highway miles as well. You know, I think when, I forget who left a comment today, and it was actually really cute. They actually took a 10-mile order for $22 order for a frozen blizzard from Dairy Queen because the person really wanted that blizzard from like 10 miles away, but they were super happy, but they still got paid $22 to deliver um, that one blizzard. So it's amazing what people do, but then you get people who, Thomas, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your passion. Well, thank you guys for your continued support. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, so I actually thought that was really, really funny. But if you're open to it, I really encourage you to at least try one for me just to see if it's worth your time. Not all of them are fantastic, so you kind of have to be picky and choosy on which one is right for you. But once you find that one, and sometimes I know that's what I actually was thinking. Frugality, that's why the blizzard probably turned into milk, especially it was during summer. The only thing I kept thinking was, how did you keep it frozen for that long time? But I don't know whether customers really think about that stuff. Like today, or was it the other day, I had the Smoothie King, and someone ordered a large smoothie from the Smoothie King, and it was like 10 miles away. I mean, the payout was okay, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, how am I going to get this smoothie to this customer all smoothie-ish without it being mush by the time it got to their house? So I ended up declining the order because I'm like, I don't know how. I mean, I can put it in my hot bag, but will it really stay cold and fresh for 10 miles? I don't know. I didn't take that order, but kind of the things that I think about too. I always think from like a customer's perspective, but at the same time, I think the customer is kind of you ordered it, it's 10 miles away, so what you're getting yourself into. Don't expect the most fantastic smoothie ever. I'm just saying. But just my mindset. I think that even about hot food, I'm like someone who I order something from like a really fancy restaurant, like a steakhouse, and like you drive like 10 miles to give it to them. I'm like, are you honestly think you're gonna get like a fresh filet mignon from 10 miles away? I mean, I can keep it in the hot bag the best I possibly can, but I'm just saying, is it really going to be that fantastic when you get it? You're going to probably end up microwaving it anyway. Microwavable filet mignon. Ugh. Anyway, just my kind of digressed from there. Anyway, so that's kind of, those are my thoughts on my New Year's. I will say this with, I talked to you guys about Grubhub. I mean, my New Year's resolutions for this coming year last week, and I exercised my New Year's. I was so proud of myself. So a couple of things I did for my New Year's resolution. One, whatever time I designate myself, whether I'm working 7 hours, 8 hours, that's when I'm quitting, and I'm sticking to it because I'm just gonna. It's the work-life balance. That's what I'm doing. So I stuck to that this week, and then also, freaking Grubhub wait times. Freaking Grubhub, I love to hate them, and their freaking wait times. My strategy this week with Grubhub is whatever time, say it was like 5:55 is the time that was pickup. I was there at like 5:55 or 5:56, so I gave them the time that I was saying, and if it wasn't ready in 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. And what sparked this was last week before New Year's. I got a Grubhub order, and it was a $28 order. And I saw it. I knew the restaurant. It's a local sushi restaurant that I know. I personally eat there a lot. In the past, I've eaten there so many times, and they know me. They know me by name, and I'm like, oh, this will be done in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes top, in, out, done. Get there, it was a stacked order on Grubhub. First order ready. Second order, they're like, it'll be a couple more minutes. I feel like that's like the kiss of death for us gig workers when we hear, it'll be a couple more minutes. Yeah, what's a couple more minutes? I feel like that's like the phrase of all phrases for us, for us gig workers. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait. And by this time, I'm waiting. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. This time, I'm like 15 minutes in, and like if you feel like you're invested at this point, because you're like, if I cancel, I just waited 15 minutes anyway. I might as well keep on waiting. So stupid me. Yes, I should have canceled, but I kept waiting. Ended up being like 30 minutes later. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why am I still here? So that's where kind of like my New Year's resolution for Grubhub was this year. And I'm like, nope, I don't care the dollar amount. 5 minutes is 5 minutes. Time is money, and I'm out the door. And I did that, I think, like twice this week. I'm like, nope, I'm out. So I did that this week as well. So talk about strategies. That is my strategy going into the new year. So strategies change. We have to readjust and keep on moving. Yeah, Lisa, that's so true. 2 or 3 minutes means 15 to 20 minutes. I swear, like whenever someone says it's going to be a couple of minutes, I'm telling you, it's like it's like the kiss of death for us drivers. It's just like, yeah, okay. It's a very rare occasion that it's a couple of minutes. Okay. Hey, Rideshare Rodeo, how are you? PJ, you said, I only did one ice cream order this past summer, never again. I'm in Vegas where it gets, oh, I don't blame you. I forgot you were in, I forgot you were in Vegas. I can't even imagine if you guys live in like some of like the higher, the higher temperatures during the summer. First of all, I don't know how you do it. I think I would be like, oh, but trying to keep ice cream cool for that amount of time, you would definitely need a cooler at that point. Morty said the older Grubhub bags are really good with ice cream milkshakes. Huh, interesting. Okay. I think I actually have one of the older, I have like the smaller, older Grubhub bag. I feel like I use that for like everything. I think it's actually one of my favorite bags that I actually have. Michael, you said it seems if I do 2 to 3 hour shifts with a goal, it doesn't seem like work. That's actually really interesting because me personally, I break up my day. Like I do like a 3 to 4 hour morning shift, and I turn around and do like usually like a 4 hour dinner shift. So to me, hey, Mr. Flex, how are you? To me, it doesn't seem like I always feel like with gig work, I feel like it doesn't seem like I'm working. Like I feel like I'm just like, I'm driving around, I'm having some fun, I'm taking some orders. Like I feel like it never really feels like you're working. Yes, we're working. Yes, we're hustling. Yes, we're going out and getting our money. But I don't know. Maybe to me, like I feel like gig work is so much fun. Lisa, maybe I'm just so dark that way that like I feel like I'm never really like working. So to your point, like the shorter shifts, I feel like also if you work some of the shorter shifts as opposed to like working an entire 8 hour day, it doesn't feel so cumbersome to making your goal. Like I know for me, and then this is just me, is I goal myself my afternoon shift, and then I turn around and goal myself an evening shift, and to me it doesn't feel like, oh my god, I have like this big huge goal to achieve every single day. But that is a very, very good point. Yeah, Frugal D, I never had a Grubhub order that was ever ready. They never make it until I pull up. I'm telling you, like the wait times in Grubhub, I don't. Hopefully, maybe that's their New Year's resolution in 2022. I don't know, but I feel like it's getting worse. Actually, not better. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like I even during the holidays, that's another thing. Going like after holidays to now. Also think of like restaurant staffing. If you think about it, probably a lot of these restaurants were trying to pump out as much food and as many orders as humanly possible, so they were staffing their restaurants, and now staffing isn't what it needs to be. So I have a feeling, Kim, are you still doing 50 to 60-hour work weeks after the holiday? Probably not. Like I said, I'm trying to exercise the work life balance. Not to say I will never do a 50 to 60-hour work week, but I'm trying to be very thoughtful and planned out of my week for video purposes and also for work purposes. So you guys will actually see when I work an 8-hour day. You guys will actually see when I work a 12-hour day and when I work a 10-hour day. But I'm not saying I'm ruling them out, but on an average, you know, usually I work, usually I work about 50 hours a week. I usually work 6 days a week. So, yeah, maybe I'll still stay the same, but I'm really trying to stick to, I know, but Soda, you work those long hours, my friend. You work 70, 90 hours plus. Whew. I still have to be a mom. I think that's why I came up with my New Year's resolution the way I did. 8 hours means 8 hours, but I'm really trying to, I have a calendar. I'm trying to be organized, but I'm trying to plan out my week so I know every single day, okay, this day I'm working, making up 6 hours. This day I'm working 10 hours. This day I might work, a 12-hour on a weekend, just depending on what promos are going on. But I'm really trying, and not only that, it actually helps, me plan family life as well, so they know when I'm here, when I'm not here, when I cook dinner, when I don't cook dinner. So it actually helps me plan my life a little bit more easier. So Kevin, you said I had a $38 20-mile stacked Wendy's order a couple months ago. Good thing is that at the midnight you can move quickly, no traffic. There hasn't been a lot. Even with people going back to school and also work this week, I feel like traffic, maybe because I had a little bit of snow yesterday, I didn't feel like the amount of traffic on the roads hasn't been that bad. But man, the later at night you get, the better the traffic is, and the easier you're able to zip in and zip out and get orders done. So yeah, it has to be a couple more minutes before I assign. That is so true. But Soda, you got back on Doordash. Good for you. You now have another arsenal to add to your multi-apping. It's like buying a car, yes. Yeah, I'll be honest, I stopped looking at my acceptance rate on Grubhub. I'll be completely honest, just because I'm like, it's no, 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 maybe. But yes, I feel you. I can't even, I'll be honest, I can't even begin to imagine what my acceptance rate on Grubhub is. It's probably close to that. Because even yesterday was a really bad Grubhub day for my area. New Year's Eve was a really bad Grubhub day for my area. I literally didn't take one Grubhub order yesterday, and I didn't take one Grubhub order on New Year's Eve. The orders that were coming in were either ridiculous miles with a really small dollar amount, or really small dollar amount that you're like, there's no way in God's creation I would ever take that order. So I'm like, eh. I'm like, eh. So I've been having my good and bad days with Grubhub lately. So ride cheerleader, just smile and look at pickup times and hit order. Wasn't prepared until I got there. I swear, with Grubhub, the worst thing ever. How often does this happen to you? And I feel like going like this every time I do this, and I almost feel like unassigning as soon as this happens. You take a Grubhub order, and you're literally 2 blocks away from where the restaurant is, and you get that alert, your order has been confirmed, and you're like, darn it. I am totally never getting this order. It's going to be like another 15, 20 minutes if the restaurant just confirmed the order and they haven't even started making the order yet. Like, how many times have you guys like unassigned? I'm like, unassigned. What's up, Mr. Flex? I talked to other drivers when I run into them. In certain stores, they refuse to accept orders from. They are very passionate about it. Okay. Yeah, and I'm telling you, and maybe it's me. I have the gift of gab. Like, I love talking to other drivers when like there are wait times, because you kind of get into their mindset a little bit, because everybody doesn't think the same, right? And also, a lot of people, as I talk to them about YouTube, they don't know what, like, there's YouTube channels out there to help them. So then I start talking to them about YouTube, and a lot of them don't even know what multi-apping is. And a lot of times, like, they're like stuck on like single apps, and then like you really get to know, but they might give you some inside information that you might even know. So to me, it's always fun talking to other gig drivers as you're kind of going, and it passes your time. Yeah, Frugal, you said the older Grubhub bags are amazing. The new ones are cheap. Yeah, when I first got in, like, got signed up for Grubhub, they sent me like, I don't want to, like, the newer Grubhub bags to me feel like you go to a grocery store and they kind of give you those reusable, recyclable bags that are like that mesh feel to them. It feels like they took that mesh and like just lined them with like silver and said, here's your Grubhub bag. But the older ones, I feel like you know, are really nice and insulated. They sent me two of the older ones once I reached my 100 my 100 delivery mark, which is really nice of them. Kimberly, you said, I am with you. I never enjoyed a job so much. Love everything about it except beating my car up with miles and gas, but totally love doing gig work. You know, the way I look at it is I knew what I was getting myself into when I signed up for it. I really truly believe cars are meant to be driven, do miles, and the wear and tear on your car stink, absolutely. But I knew that going into this process and into what I was doing. And I've told you guys this before, but in case you're new to my channel, like my previous job, like I was traveling 74 miles one way and 74 miles another way. So to me, like this is, well, like it's nothing. I was already doing the miles. So what is it? I mean, there's really no difference. Some days are actually less than what I was actually doing. More, that's a really good suggestion. You said I would call every restaurant when I got the order. I've actually been doing that, especially with in my area. I don't know whether you guys have found this. A lot of times in my area, if it says a just pay order, a lot of times I've been getting to the restaurants like ready to pay for the order, and they're like, "Oh, it was never called in. Do you want to order it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, not happening." But so I've been whenever I see that it's a restaurant I don't know, I call the restaurant and say, "Hey, did you get this order? Did did it get called in?" And because I don't want to get to the restaurant and then have to go through that all over again. So I've been doing that with Grubhub lately, because there's been like probably like in the past month, like 4 restaurants that have been pay restaurants, and I got there and they're like, "Yeah, no, we don't have your order. You have to order it." I'm like, "Yeah, no, not happening." But Soda, you said I work 70 to 90 hours plus. 70 is a light week for me. I think 95 last week, 30 hours Saturday and Sunday. Woof, woof, my friend. Hey, keep making that money. That's the only thing I keep saying. Keep making that money. I know you're out there hustling it every single day, and you know what? Keep making that money. Grubhub never learned to send orders directly to the restaurant's computer. Yeah, I agree. Gig in between, you say you work your hours straight. If I go home, I never will go back out. That is the one downfall of like it's one downfall of literally stopping and coming back. I will say the only good thing about me stopping and going is I cook dinner and I get to like spend time with my daughter and I play with my daughter, so I feel like I'm still going. So when it's time to go, I'm like, okay, it's time to go. I had my family time. Like I don't feel as guilty leaving my family to go back out to work. So I will say that. And sometimes when my daughter is still taking naps some days, not all days, but some days, like I come home and she's still napping and I kind of get a 30 to 40 minute nap before, and it like refreshes me for the nighttime shift. So that's like the perks of going home. But I hear you. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, okay, I just need to work straight through, or sometimes I'll work through because like I want to spend the evening with my family as well. So I'll work straight through. The only thing I feel like with working straight through is like you get that lull between breakfast and lunch, and then you get that lull between like lunch and dinner. And I feel like sometimes like me, I get like antsy because like I want an order and like they're not coming in as quickly because it's like that lull time. Frugality, another issue. Restaurants say the order will be ready in 30 minutes in the app, and the app sends us right away. Yeah, they do that a lot. Aw, Thomas, thank you so much. That is a really adorable sticker, by the way. Thank you so much for your thank you. I really appreciate it. But yeah, ugh, freaking, yeah. I can't tell you how many times that does happen, or how many times do you actually get to the restaurant and they're like, oh yeah, we just received your order, and you're like, why did you send me? Like, I feel like there needs to be a better way of Grubhub doing things, or maybe Grubhub needs to take lessons from Uber Eats and Doordash about when to send their orders and when to send their drivers. Another thing also I've been noticing, and this actually happened to me last week, is some of these restaurants, some of the chain restaurants I should say, they automatically send out, I think one of you guys told me that they do this, and then I really found out that it was true because I went to a restaurant and it was closed. I got an alert saying that your order is ready for pickup. So you're like, yeah, I'm ready, let's go. And you get to the restaurant. In my case, the restaurant was closed. But the week prior to that, it was Dunkin', and it wasn't even close to being ready. So some of them send out like those automated, your order is ready for pickup, and then you get frustrated because you're like, oh, my order's ready. False hope. DoorDash was the highway miles are faster. They definitely are faster. Thomas, you said the trick if I go home is I never want to go back out. Hey, I always say, do what works best for you. Do what schedule works best for you. This is the schedule that works for me and my family and what's kind of going on with whatever's happening and me spending time. Like I'm really trying, when I started this whole working full time, I really wanted to find the time that I can spend the most amount of time with my husband and daughter, and the most amount of time that I can maximize the time. So I really came up with the idea that I would work the peak times during like late morning lunchtime, and then I work the peak times at dinner time. That way I had like the mornings to be with my daughter, get her up, get breakfast for everybody, cook breakfast if I'm cooking breakfast. But not only that, my daughter goes to school next year, so we're still, she's still in the learning process, so we're doing a lot of stuff with like teaching her and getting her ready for school. So it was my idea of like the work life balance between me and my family. That is a good question, Josh. 90 hours, bud. When do you even relax? That is a very good question. When do you relax, bud? Do you ever get to relax? Do you sleep? Josh, you said it's supposed to snow to Friday. You should actually. They're calling all of a sudden. I got a winter weather advisory today. I swear they didn't call for anything. The Weather Channel, I should say, didn't call for anything this entire week. They only called for really frigid temperatures. And man, it's been so frequently. It's been so cold. Yesterday it was in the 20s. Today it was in the low 30s. It's been really cold. But they didn't call for snow. And then all of a sudden we were supposed to get snow yesterday. Which, Mr. Flex, if you're still here, did you get snow in northern Jersey? I think it was the southern Jersey thing. So they were all of a sudden we were getting snow yesterday, and then I get a winter weather advisory that they're calling for ice for 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. tomorrow. So I don't know what tomorrow's morning's gonna look like, but I don't play with ice or extremely bad weather. Hey Ellen, how are you? Oh, okay, you got 10 hours of sleep. That's more than what I get. I'm impressed, bud. But oh, but yeah, so they're calling for ice, and then I think they're calling for Josh. I think you said you're in Pennsylvania, right? Did I get that right? They're calling for snow again on Friday, but they don't know. They can't predict how many inches yet here. So I'm like, well, welcome to January. I guess winter has officially arrived in our area. But I know a couple of you guys. I think Michelle, you're from Michigan. There are a couple of you guys from like the Midwest and have already been experiencing a lot of this cold weather and a lot of this snow, and you've been dealing with it for a while now, and now I feel like I'm just catching up to the game. Michael, you said the other day I had to make 4 emergency stops in my car in like an hour because of all the traffic. Ugh, I am I'm sorry. Traffic is like, in our job, like, I feel like traffic is like the worst. I am very fortunate that I live in an area that it's not very congested. Like, I know some of you guys, live in cities, and a couple of you guys are from like New York City, and oh, hats off to you for doing the traffic. But my area, knock on wood, is really good with traffic, unless it's like Jersey Shore traffic on a Friday night, and that's where usually like I'm literally cursing all the drivers out for coming to the Jersey Shore. So that's usually the only time I really have to deal with traffic. Yeah, someone said Grubhub is trash now. I'm telling you, I feel like I have like a love-hate relationship with Grubhub. Like, when they send you like a really good order, you're like, yeah, Grubhub, you're the best. And then like you get so frustrated when you get like one of those orders where it's wait times and everything goes wrong, and it's just like, why am I doing Grubhub? And like, it's I swear I have a very love-hate relationship. But right now they're overtaking Uber Eats in my area because Uber Eats is just not performing much of anything besides $2 orders, $3 orders, and maybe a $4.50. I don't. Ugh. I always said, who would ever thought like I would be like saying, yeah, Doordash is the best ever. Like, I would have never thought of that like literally months ago. But I have to give props where props are. This whole entire week, I have not waited at a restaurant. I've literally have gone in, I've grabbed my order, and I was out the door, and their miles have been somewhat decent and on the low side. So I have to give credit where credit's due. They've actually been doing pretty well for me and producing a lot of money. I mean, yesterday, my entire day was DoorDash, not because of lack of trying of putting all 3 apps on. It's just they were just shooting orders, and the other 2 just weren't even keeping up. So I ended up, I think, only doing 2 Uber Eats orders, and the rest of the day was just all DoorDash. So have to give, yeah, Lisa, knock on wood. I guess I should do the table because I actually have wood on my table right now. Kevin, you said you work around 70 hours too between the day job and gig work. Yeah, it's interesting that yeah, it's always, I used to, and Kevin, I used to do the same thing too. I can say that when I worked full time, I was doing at the time just DoorDash part time, and it almost got addicting because to me, oh, good night, Brenda, have a good day. It almost became addicting when I had a full-time job because I'm like, oh, I can go out for a couple of hours and make X amount of money, or on the weekend sometimes you're like, oh, I can make that in like this amount of time, like, and then you add it on to your W-2 job, like it's very awesome when you can when you can capitalize on both the W-2 and the gig work as well. Hey Roxanne, how are you? So Bud, you said take a short distance, smaller order on another app. I've had to do it with Papa John's because the playoffs, they're slammed. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so that's another thing. We're in football season. Super Bowl's coming up soon. We have that to look forward to. So I feel like sports have really helped ramp us ramp us up a lot, especially if you yourself live close to a stadium. I know a couple of you guys say you guys live close to stadiums and really helps during game time. In my own area, I'm kind of like in the middle. Obviously, I have the Jets and the Giants up north, and then towards Philly, I have the Eagles. So, kind of depends on in New Jersey where you live and whether you're a Giants, a Jets, or Eagles fan. I am neither one of those three. But when either three of those are playing, usually you can get some really good orders on a Sunday because everybody's like glued to their TV. Um, yeah, everybody's glued to their TV when it comes to football. As I'm taking a drink, if you haven't done so already, go and give this live a thumbs up. If you can, real quick, that would really help my live get out to the YouTube world. So that's why thumbs up are always so super important. If you are new to my channel and are tuning in for the very first time, please go and also hit the subscribe button while you're hitting that thumbs up button, as well as I take another sip of my Dr. Pepper. Okay. Hey Pedro, how are you? Yeah, I do 50 hours, 6 days a week. Life goals, yeah. Telling you, work-life balance, work-life. I'm telling you, it should be sponsored. So, Dr. Pepper, if you are listening to this, yes, I am a big supporter of Dr. Pepper. So, I'm just kidding. By the way, I'm just kidding. But I'm telling you, Dr. Pepper is like the best thing ever. I think I was talking to you guys also about putting some 3 olive vodka in Dr. Pepper. Best drink ever. Yeah. Okay. Thomas, napping is what hurts the most. Yeah, I'm a napper. I'm telling you, I am a complete napper. Like I always say, previous to being a mom, I'm telling you, I would like on my days off, I would nap all day. I would sleep in. Those yes. So Roxanne, so if you guys know 3 olive vodka, they come in like different flavors. I love the cherry 3 olive vodka. You can put it in Coke. You can put it in, God, you can put it in so many things. But if you take cherry 3 olive vodka and put it in a Dr. Pepper, it's like a fantastic drink, I'm telling you. Or you can do it in 7-Up. You can do it in Coke. It tastes like a cherry Coke, or it makes the flavor of Dr. Pepper tastes even more cherrier, if that's a word, cherrier. But oh, telling you, it's a good adult beverage. Oh, PJ, thank you so much, PJ. A longtime friend of my channel's belated Christmas gift. Thank you so much, PJ. I really appreciate it. And happy holidays to you. I was so excited to see you and hear from you today. So thank you so very much. But Soda, hey, great news, Kim. Someone took my advice and started watching yours and Pedro's and UDM videos. Oh, yay, thank you. And he says he's going way better. His work hour is almost 30. That's awesome. Thank you so much, bud. I really appreciate it. I've been having so much fun. Really, yeah, my Mondays are, with UDM. So if you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. I put it in my community post every Monday morning at 9 a.m. So join us. It's breakfast, and it's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun, co-hosting with UDM. It's been an amazing experience. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out because it's been a lot of fun. We've been covering a lot of topics lately, and some new. I think 2 weeks ago, it was a new app that was coming out, and this past week we were talking about something different. So each week it's a different new topic, but definitely check it out. I've been having a lot of fun, but thank you so much for, the recommendation. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Thomas, everybody giving Kim love and hitting that thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Oh, hey, Gig Cleveland, how are you? I'm trying to get through this real quick. So they gave me that. I have an alert that I've opened an email. It's a little old from 12/16, but it's an Instacart, and they're offering 1 year free Grubhub delivery. If you sign up with Instacart Express, that's interesting. So I wonder if they teamed up together. Interesting. That's an interesting thing. One restaurant told me they hit the order already because they are on a time limit, even though it's not ready. Okay. Doordash is just up and down and always count on, but I still need them. Yeah, I feel like DoorDash, believe me, I'm still not happy with DoorDash. Don't get me wrong. Like, I still don't trust them as a company. I'll be completely honest. I still don't agree with a lot of their concepts. Hi, Live to Hustle. How are you? I still don't agree with a lot of their concepts. I still don't agree with their business mindset. A lot of times I'm still, oh my God, what are you thinking? Like, they're by far not my favorite app to use. Uber Eats is still my favorite app to use. They're just not producing. But I can't argue with the fact that they literally are giving me order after order in my market. They're like literally nonstop orders coming in. Not every order is good. There are some really wackadoo orders. There's some wacky orders out there, but I can't say anything because orders are still coming in and they're still producing money for me. So, God, I don't know why it says it pains me to say that they're my number one app, but right now they're my number one app in my area. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess it's a good thing because I'm making money off of them, but maybe it's a bad thing also because they're not my favorite company that out of all the 3 apps that I'm signed up for. Josh B, can you send my husband over here to drive me around when you go home in between shifts? I can send him over to you. He's a good driver. He he works for free. At least for me, he works for free. The reason why my family comes with me just because it's fun to do this together. They go for maybe 2, maybe 3 hours with me, but it's kind of fun just to have, people to actually talk to and interact with, and I get to spend some extra time with my daughter, so it's actually a lot of fun. So if you have a significant other and you feel comfortable. A lot of people are like, yeah, I would never take my wife or husband with me ever. But if you feel comfortable, take your significant other with you. I have a lot of fun doing it. It's, hey, he drives me, so I still make all the decisions. I'm still, I do everything that I normally do. It's just he's driving. I'm not going to complain when he does or when he offers to drive. I'm like, yeah, come on. It's less work I have to do. So it's always fun when I actually have my family with me, and it's, I like having a sounding board sometimes. Sometimes when you're in the car together and it's sometimes when you're by yourself, you're like, oh, should I take this order or should I not take this order? It's always fun when I have my husband, because he does DoorDash, and he does this part-time as well. He's out delivering right now as we speak, but it's always fun to have like a sounding board. And a lot of times he's like, just freaking make a decision. I'm like, but that's why you're here. And it's actually a lot of fun if you can bring your significant other with you, if you have one, or even a sibling. My mom said she wants to come with me one day just to get the experience. So I suggest it just because it's always fun to have someone else with me. So I enjoyed it. But yes, if he's not with me, you're more than welcome to have him volunteer to come be your chauffeur. Hmm. Yeah, since when does Bud Soda sleep? That's actually really funny. But I feel like you're constantly working. Pedro, you said, I think we're expecting here in Connecticut some snow Friday morning. Yeah, something's happening Friday. I was watching the news today and they're like, it's too early to predict which way it's going to track. So whether it's going to be north or south or this past yesterday, it was supposed to be a southern storm. We only got I thought it was going to be like really bigger, and it actually ended up, only be like a tracing. There was one time during the afternoon though, I was about ready to end for the afternoon. I'm like, okay, I really need to, I really need to go home because the snow was starting to pick up, and I don't go. I mean, I go out if the roads are safe and fine, but I'm not so good when like the roads start getting coated and covered, and I'm like, okay, it's time for me to go home. And yesterday, I'm like, okay, it's the end of my shift. It really is time to go, to go home. So, that's kind of like my snow factor. I don't mind doing it when it first starts, but yeah, when it really starts to pick up, that's when I go, okay, it's really time. I value my safety over like the extreme weather. I will say if we have like last year we had a couple of major snowstorms that I went out in the beginning when it first started. I stopped when it was like really bad, and then once the plows came through and everything was salted, then I went back out again. That's kind of how I worked it last year and how I usually work, bad weather. Mm. Joe Gig, delivering to homes who do not shovel their sidewalk or stairs on top, not turning the lights on, the joys of winter delivery. I'm sure, Joe, you by Chicago, I'm sure you are, you probably already had snow, right? So it's like my biggest pet peeve when there's like major snowstorms. Like, how can you as a customer like order something knowing that your walkway isn't shoveled, nothing is plowed, and you're expecting a driver to go through? And last year it was like 6 inches plus, like literally like walk in 6+ inches of snow to get your food to the ground. There was one time like I just started calling customers, you need to come out and get your food because I'm not walking through your inches of snow. I can't get to your door. And some of them were, okay, I'll come right out. And some were like, you really can't bring me to my door? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm out here in the snowstorm. So Joe, that's like one of like my biggest pet peeves, I'm telling you. Ugh, drives me crazy. And to your point, and they don't have lights on, so you're telling me to go, oh, hey, Karen, how are you? So you're telling me to now, like, track through your snow, and I can't find your house because it's in the complete dark. Like, what are people thinking? I'm just saying. Hmm. Oh, that's right. PJ and Ellen, you both are in Vegas. Huh, I forgot about that. Hmm. Hmm. So truth be told, I was around a corner from a McDonald's and seeing a Grubhub order for $2 for 11.3 miles. Are you freaking kidding? That's horrible. I did not take it, but I drove there just to see who came and got it, and someone did. Wow. Why would you take an order for $2 for 11 miles? And what is wrong with Grubhub for paying someone $2 to go 11 miles? That's my thing when I see really low orders for really high miles. I don't know, to me, I'm like, I don't know who to be more offended by. I don't know whether to be more offended by the customer who didn't tip, or the company who isn't even giving you a decent enough base pay to get this order to the customer's house. I'm just saying. Mm. Pedro, you said I bring my wife with me too, but not anymore. Thomas, I love that you post daily because it puts me in a great mood. Oh, thank you so much. I really do try to post every single day, even if it's my day off. I'll usually do some kind of video to give you guys something to kind of keep you guys going. I will say though, I took a couple days off during Christmas just because I just needed I needed a break. And then I took a day off like last week just because like I really wanted to spend time with my family for New Year's and really embrace the New Year's holiday with my family. So I did take, so you might see me take a day or so off just because like I need it, just like everybody else. There are days that like I get burnt. It's a lot because I'm working 8 hours themselves, and I come home and I edit, and then I'm usually up until 12, 1. The other night was 2 o'clock, and then I turn around and get up at 6 or 7 o'clock to upload the video and get it out to you guys as quickly as possible. So it's a quick turnaround process, and I try to give you guys, the best possible experience that I can. Oh, Gig, my son is headed to DC next, Kim, from the heat to the snow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he lives in New York, right? Right, Gig Lobaski? I think you said he lives in New York, but I'm so glad that he came and spent a lot of good quality time with you, and you got to spend the holidays together. So I'm really glad that you had the time with your son and got to spend some time with him. But yeah, it must be difficult for him for going to you. What are you down south? Are you still in like the 70s down south, Gig? Just curious. Mm. Mm. Yeah. So Josh B. Thomas, thank you. Glad you had family time. Yeah. Josh B said, Kim, so you're saying I need to buy a winter coat and gloves this week for the snowstorm? I got nothing for you. I didn't know we were supposed to get snow until the Weather Channel said, yeah, you can watch out for snow on Friday. And I'm like, really, again? And then I got the alert that for freezing rain tonight. I mean tomorrow morning. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Ugh. I'm just saying. I'm like, we're all of a sudden it's like out of nowhere. But you might want to start thinking about it. I'm telling you, I don't know whether you guys saw it today. I got like the best thing like ever. I got like a Scully, and I got it on Amazon, and it has like an LED flashlight on it. It is like the best thing like ever. And it like the flashlight has 3 settings, and you just have to tap it, and like you actually get to see where you're delivering at night, so you never have to like carry a flashlight and like carry a bag. Like it's actually like on your hat. Ugh. I always try to tell you guys about really cool things that have really helped me. And that's like one of the coolest newest gadgets that I found, that like it was like a game changer for me for delivering at night. But that is a really good point. You said, I make it a point to thank those who have walk steps shoveled and porch lights on. It's a really good thing to thank your customers, because it really is a big deal when someone shovels for you. Kim, when will you vacation? You deserve it. We are huge Disney fans. I love going to Disney World. It now has been 2 years, almost 2 years since I've been to Disney. Oh, so we normally, pre-pandemic, we would go to Disney 2 to 3 times a year. So those of you who are in Florida, I can say hi when I go to Disney. But yeah, we're hopefully maybe this year planning a Disney trip. I'm waiting for my daughter to get vaccinated in February, hopefully. So once I know she's kind of like set, hopefully maybe we can and everything is is good in the world. Hoping to maybe do a Disney vacation at some point this year, whether it's for the probably for the Food and Wine Festival. I love going to Disney in the fall time. Temperatures are usually a lot better than the summer, obviously, and then they have the Food and Wine Festival going on, and I love being there for the Food and Wine Festival. So that's kind of maybe my vacation plans going forward. I don't know. I'll let you know when when I do. Josh, you've never been to Disney World? You have to go. I'm telling you, when me and my husband, and this is before my daughter, but when my husband and I started to going to Disney, like as an adult, I think I was in my 20s, and it was a far better experience as an adult than when I went. I mean, I loved it as a kid, don't get me wrong. I think I went twice as a kid, but yeah. Oh my God, it was so much fun as an adult because you have a different appreciation for it and you have a different mindset that it's not all, rides, rides, rides. It is about rides, but you get like the full Disney experience, and I appreciate it more as an adult than I did as a kid. So, oh, you have to go to Disney. Oh, totally go. I'm just saying. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Oh, gig in between. That's a really good term. Make sure you have salt and shovel in your trunk. And also, you guys didn't know, make sure rubbing alcohol and water melt the ice on your windshield quickly, very quickly. Thank you. That is very good advice. I do keep a shovel and I keep a scraper in my trunk during the winter. But I didn't put salt in my car this year. So thank you for reminding me. You've been to Disneyland, not Disney World. Everybody needs to get to Disney World like once in their life. I'm telling you, like, I think I always say you either love Disney or you don't love Disney. Those who love Disney, like, it's the best thing ever. The reason why I love Disney, and maybe you guys can see this in me, like, you can be a kid for an entire week and no one ever judges you. Like, you can be the biggest kid and like relive your childhood all over again as an adult, and no one ever judges you. But you can put those Mickey ears on your head and go through parks like I rule the world and everything is all good. Oh, everybody has to get to Disney at least once. PJ, thankfully I watched a lot of channels like yours and Sarah's and helped me make 2 10+ mile orders. Oh, yay! Thanks, PJ. Yeah, Josh said I blame the apps for sending out orders. I agree. Mm. Gig in between. I love the snow and I'm afraid of it. Learned how to drive on dirt roads, but I'm not crazy. I'll do more than most for a good payout. I hear you. Anyone getting orders from 7-Eleven for bags of ice? I've had 2 in the last week. No, I don't think I've gotten a Wawa order for a bag of ice like once, and that was during the summer, and I chalked it up to someone actually having a party in their backyard. Thomas, thank you so much. Kim, thanks for what you do. I really appreciate it, Thomas. Thank you so much. But I think I've only gotten a bag. Maybe was it because of like a whole New Year's celebration? Maybe someone was having a party. Maybe, I don't know. PJ, don't burn yourself out, Kim. I try usually, like, I know what my limits are for my own self. Like, I know when I hit a wall are the days I'm like, okay, I need to disconnect from everything. I know it's hard to do, but there are some days, sometimes you might not receive like a response from me right away. Like, I literally try to disconnect from Gig World. I try to disconnect from YouTube. I try to, oh, bye, Lisa. Talk to you later. I try to disconnect literally from everything. And I do get those days where like I hit a brick wall and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I have to go. And I literally, I just need to kind of decompress. But that's how I don't get burnout, is because I know, hey, Diane, how are you? I know when I'm feeling it, and I know when my limits are, and I'm like, okay, I need a day off, I need to disconnect, and that's how I don't burn out. TJ, I should start screenshotting some of the crap I get. It's really outrageous. I screenshot everything anyway for video purposes. So it's just a natural reaction for me. An order comes up, I screenshot it. An order comes up, I screenshot it. But it's interesting for me. It's interesting to kind of go back and see the orders through the entire day, just to kind of see what orders I took versus what orders that came in. So, and it's also good just in case a customer disputes your order somehow, you have record of it. But I do that as well. Michael, yeah, the Scully is like fantastic. It's in the last video I did. It's in my description. There's a link to Amazon for it. Go check it out. Like literally, it's like a game. It was a game changer for me. And using it, like I don't have to like hold a flashlight and try to find where I'm going as I'm holding a bag. Like it's literally on your head. It's fantastic. Oh, how much does the light cost? How much with the light? It comes in, I think, like 15 different colors. I got pink just because I wanted to be girly, but it comes black and like a whole bunch of different colors. I think it was like $16.99 or $14.99. I think it was $16.99, but worth the investment, and it's really cool. Actually, hold on. I think I actually might have it. Hold on. Here. Oh, I forgot I had it actually right here. Okay. Here's what it looks like. It's actually really cool because you can actually take it apart, and this you can plug into your computer, and that's how you charge it, and it's just rechargeable, so your battery never runs out. So, and then you literally just take it and put it back in your hat. And I'm probably going to like blind you guys, so sorry. Sorry, that's really light, but it has 3 different settings before you turn it off, so it can be like really bright, you know, small light and so on and so forth. But that's the hat. But it's like literally the best thing ever. Thomas, Kim smiles even when she's having a bad day in her videos. That's so motivating. I just, you know, I get frustrated just like everybody else, I'm sure, out there. And I feel like being angry is like it's not worth the energy in being angry. I can get frustrated all day long, and you'll see in tomorrow's video some of my frustrations that I was feeling. But I do get frustrated. I just believe in frustrations with a smile, because if I don't laugh some of this off, I let it defeat me, and I'm not going to let this defeat me. We're gig workers. It's not, you know, it's not all that serious. Like, you can have fun while you're doing it. We all get frustrated. We all sometimes get mad at the orders that are coming in, and sometimes you can get down on yourself for it. But you know what? That's not what's going to get you money. It's not what's going to get you to your goals. So that's kind of my positivity and my positive mentality going into gig work. And yeah, I get frustrated just like the best of them. I don't let it defeat me. Kimberly said it's so magical. I love Minnie and Mickey's little house in the nighttime parade. Oh, there is so many and that's why I want to get back to that's why I want to get back to Disney World, because there are so, and not only that, they're in their 50th anniversary. Like, how can I not go to Disney this year and not see their 50th anniversary? But like everything, I feel like has changed in like 2 years since I've been there. And before, like I was going like every like 4 to 6 months, and like you got to see the changes as they were happening. And now like it's been like 2 years, and there are so many changes. I feel like I'm so far behind. Oh, you get all the time for Instacart on Ice. Huh, okay. Interesting. But so I think it's the first time I only have one order in the cart today. Uh-oh. Well, hopefully it's going to turn around and your night's going to be fantastic. I'm going to send you like, I'm going to send you like positive vibes, or anybody else who's working. I'll send you like positive like delivery vibes, so maybe good orders come your way. PJ, I can tell when you're frustrated, but you always polish it off with a smile and positivity and awesomeness. Frustration happens in everyday life. It happens. We all get frustrated. It's part of what we do. It's being human. It's just kind of how you how you deal with it. Um, that kind of either is positive or it can be negative. I feel like negative energy really just doesn't get you anywhere. It's how you turn it around, and sometimes it's a matter of just putting it behind you and moving on, and that's what I usually try to do. But I never hide my frustrations because I think that's the real in what we do on a daily basis. Diane, I picked up Buffalo Wild Wings tonight. They put the box in a bag. Oh no! Put in the bag upside down, food spilled in the bag. I couldn't do anything about it because COVID and the sticker. Oh, that's horrible. I am sorry, Diane. Did you call Buffalo Wild Wings and let them know what happened? Because now, that's the thing. And I don't know how many times you guys find this as well. How many times you pick up the order and you think everything's okay and you get it to your car and you look inside the packaging and it's all wackadoo, but you want to go in and fix it, but at the same time you don't want to tamper with their food, but then you don't want to deliver an order that's all over the place. So you feel like you're put in a very awkward and weird predicament because the customer is going to blame you as the delivery driver that they think that it was in your car, swapping around until it got to their car. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you, Diane. Okay, so I am going to, I can't believe I looked at the time, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I've been on this long. So any last minute questions, any last minute comments, I'm going to be wrapping it up tonight. Thank you so much for spending your Tuesday nights with me. I really appreciate it. I do this every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. So if you're new to my channel, also while you're here, don't forget before you leave today to give this live a thumbs up if you're new to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. I appreciate you stopping by and checking out this channel. And that is it for tonight, guys. So if you're driving, stay safe and healthy. Remember, kindness is always free. I love you guys, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, everybody.